Have you ever wondered if you truly know the secrets your home holds? Or if those family stories whispered at gatherings hold any truth? What I'm about to tell you forever changed my view of hospitality, and after hearing it, it might change yours too. It all began on a night that seemed straight out of a horror movie. Rain lashed furiously against the windows of the Morera mansion, an imposing colonial structure that stood on the outskirts of Shadow Valley. Marina, a woman with chestnut hair and kind eyes, watched through the window while her children, Lucas and Anna, played cards in the living room. Her husband Pedro read the newspaper in his favorite armchair, like any other normal night. But this night was far from normal. The first sign that something was wrong was the sudden blackout that plunged the house into darkness. Lightning illuminated the room intermittently, casting shadows that seemed to come alive on the walls. And then, above the roar of the storm, they heard the knocking on the front door. Upon opening it, they found a drenched woman of unsettling beauty and penetrating gaze. She introduced herself as Elena Valdez, a tourist whose reservation at the local inn had been mysteriously canceled. Her words sounded sincere, but there was something about her way of looking, how her eyes seemed to absorb light, that caused a sensation of unease. The Morera family, known in town for their kindness, didn't hesitate to offer refuge. What they didn't know was that they had just invited into their home something more ancient and sinister than a simple lost traveler. The first changes were subtle. Anna, the younger daughter, began waking up with strange scratches on her arms, which she attributed to her own nails during sleep. Lucas started hearing whispers in the walls, voices repeating words in an unknown language. Marina noticed that mirrors reflected shadows moving independently of the people in the room, and Pedro began having nightmares about his ancestors. One night, while looking for additional blankets for Elena in the attic, Pedro found an ancient trunk containing his great-grandfather's diary. The yellowed and fragile pages revealed a terrifying truth. The house wasn't simply a family residence, but a seal, a prison built to contain an ancient curse. According to the diary, in 1876, Federico Morera had betrayed a powerful local who had asked for refuge in the house. The witch, before being handed over to authorities, cursed the family with words that were carved into the house's beams. For 7 generations, you shall be the guardians of my pain, and when the 7th red moon stains the sky, a daughter of my blood will come to claim what is hers. Pedro made the calculations in horror. They were the 7th generation, and that night, the moon would turn red in a lunar eclipse everyone had been waiting to see. The events precipitated quickly. Elena began to show her true nature. Her shadow detached from her body, sliding across walls like living ink. Objects flew around the house. Doors opened and closed by themselves, and strange symbols appeared carved into the walls, glowing with a greenish light in the darkness. Marina discovered that Elena wasn't simply a descendant of the witch. She was her very essence, preserved through generations of dark rituals, waiting for the precise moment to fully manifest. The Morera house had been built with specific protections, runes, and symbols hidden in its architecture, designed to contain the evil that was now beginning to awaken. On the night of the eclipse, the family tried to flee, but the house wouldn't let them leave. The doors sealed themselves, windows turned into solid walls, and the air became thick as honey. Elena, or what once was Elena, transformed into something that defied human comprehension. Her body twisted at impossible angles, her skin cracked, revealing an ancestral darkness that pulsed like a sick heart. Pedro then remembered the last pages of the diary, where his great-grandfather had written a containment ritual. The family joined in a circle, reciting words that seemed to emerge from their own ancestral memories. The entire house vibrated, the walls bled, and time seemed to stop. What happened next is shrouded in the mist of the inexplicable. Some neighbors claim to have seen the house glow with a reddish light before a supernatural scream tore through the night. Others swear the entire structure vanished for an instant, as if it had been erased from reality. The Morera family survived, but nothing was ever the same. The house still stands, apparently normal, but different. Mirrors now reflect shadows of events that haven't yet occurred, and on full moon nights, ancient chants can be heard emerging from its foundations. Pedro and Marina decided not to sell the house, aware of their responsibility as guardians. Lucas and Anna grew up understanding that their home was more than simple brick and mortar. It was a prison, a seal, and their family, the eternal jailers of something that shouldn't exist in our world. And as for Elena, well, some say that on stormy nights, when the moon turns red, a female figure can be seen in the attic window, waiting for another kind family to offer refuge to a lost traveler, waiting for the cycle to begin anew. If you ever pass through Shadow Valley and see an imposing colonial house with windows that seem to watch you, my advice is to keep walking, because there are places where hospitality can be your doom, and family secrets that should remain buried in the shadows of time. If this story chilled your blood, don't forget to leave a like and share in the comments what you would do if you discovered your house concealed an ancestral curse. Subscribe to not miss more horror stories that will make you question the reality you thought you knew. See you in the next story.